Good morning and welcome back. It's Jordan Miller here on News Talk 1480 WHBC. So before the break, we were talking about what is your favorite fast food restaurant. What is it? Well, what if you go to that favorite fast food restaurant and you find out that there was a price increase? Maybe that favorite sandwich or the fries or whatever have more than doubled in price because of just inflation right now. I mean, we're seeing this epidemic of fast food workers being harassed, bullied, yelled at because of customers misplacing their anger. I mean, inflation, it's impacting everyone and everything. Gas, food prices, stuff on the grocery shelves. But why do you feel as though it's right to take out that anger on the person who's literally just punching in and out and doing a job that they're being asked to do? They don't make the prices. Well, joining us right now, we have an expert on extreme customer service, and that is Sarah Buxbaum. Sarah, how are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for taking the time. What are we seeing right now? I mean, how can these people that work in the fast food industry keep a level head when they're being attacked, from every angle because of rising inflation for those fatty burgers?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, my prediction is that a lot of businesses are going to close because a lot of people don't want to show up to work and deal with it. We've proven now over the last few months that paying them more, they don't want more money. They just want to be treated with respect. And they're not. And this entitlement and this anger, like you said, customers, what gives them that right? It's so true. Just people. What gives anyone a right to go yell at somebody who's just there to do their job?
Yeah. And there's plenty of blame to go around. I mean, why is it being taken out on, someone who's flipping burgers in the back?
They're the person right there. And that's these type of people who yell at these other type of people.
Karens. I mean, we can use the term Karens on this show.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think it's gone way past that. I think I feel like when the whole Karen thing first started, it was like a one-off thing that we had to name it. Now it's every day I'm talking about this because more and more people are just losing their minds over a cheeseburger. I think most people can recognize that it's not a personal issue. These people have their own issues and that's why they're attacking other people. But unfortunately, not everybody, a lot of these people at fast food restaurants, it's their first job. And why don't we help them? And instead of yelling at them and saying, even it's not their fault about how food costs or how long it took or that there's 7 other employees didn't show up to work today, maybe give them some words of encouragement. Imagine how hard it would be to be on their, on that side. And that's kind of what I've been talking about for the last few months, especially, is I don't know the answer. I just know as a society, we're embarrassing.
Yeah, we are embarrassing. And what really annoys me, Sarah, is, it's always, the older generation always wants to come down on the younger generation. Mm-hmm. But I'm seeing it right now. It doesn't matter the age. People are just frustrated and they don't know who to take that anger out on. We got to pay higher prices for gas right now. I don't see you walking in a gas station and cussing out the cashier or the clerk at the counter because of the price of gas. Why are we doing the same thing to people who are just working at the restaurant?
Yeah, kind of what I've seen, and I think you were spot on about there's no age, because when I first started talking about this, it was all, these millennials are so entitled. And it's not just the millennials. The millennials are faster about getting it on social media, maybe. But I've seen men and women in their 50s and 60s scream at people at the counter at restaurants.
At teenagers at
yes.
that. I mean, they're yelling at people, like you said, it's many people's first job. So you've got that 17-year-old boy or girl sitting there at the counter just trying to take an order so they can get done with their day and go study for their exam, and then they're being screamed at.
Yep, and it's a problem. We're seeing it in a lot of colleges now. A lot of these kids are being bullied, and it's such a ripple effect. And I think if we frame it more to these people who are treating others like this, is it's not you're mad over a $5 cheeseburger. You're creating 10 more problems down the road by not just saying thank you, have a good day, and taking your food and driving. That person now is super distressed. They have to go study, like you said. They're dealing with all the stress of college, and now they're probably working 1 or 2 or 3 jobs to pay for it. The last thing they want to do is get yelled at. And that generation we need to be nurturing, not in the sense of giving them everything, but giving them encouragement that this really isn't the real world right now. Like, I still believe that this is going to change. But I know, talking to younger people, they don't. This is all they've known in the last 3 or 4 years is hate.
Yeah. Well,
and so what's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's this stigma right now where everybody feels as though that younger generation, Sarah, the people who are really working at fast food restaurants, there's this stigma that they're just entitled. They can get whatever they want without putting in the work. And I don't really feel that that's the case, because guess what? They're out there working because they know that they've got to make their own money, and mommy and daddy aren't going to give them money, at the drop of a dime.
Exactly. And we need to teach more people that, and that you have to go to work, and it's not always going to be pretty, and you're not always going to win. And I think this mindset of this entitlement, someone said it's like these people think that they're royalty, that they deserve to be, handed everything. And it's like, no, if you want to work really hard and you want to have a really good experience and you want to go to the Four Seasons, and that's great. However, if you're driving through a Taco Bell drive-thru, you're not going to get waited on hand and foot. It's a Taco Bell drive-thru.
Right.
So we've just lost all sense of value, and personally, and I don't want to sound like hateful or anything, but I think it started when parents started not letting kids lose, and not letting, this whole the participation trophies, and you just show up and you deserve to be handed everything, and that's not right. And I think that we're seeing the backlash of that right now, because that is a lot of the problem, is people feel that they deserve way more than they've earned.
Yeah.
And it's just not okay. I've never been so passionate about something. I've been in customer service for 18 years. I've never seen anything like this.
But I see, Sarah, it happening, and, no matter the age, they're the ones coming down. So for example, the older generation, the boomers, the older millennials, whatever, they're the ones who always want to preach, oh, well, these younger kids are so entitled. They're so entitled, blah, blah, blah. Well, I come from a very rural area, and I will tell you, they are some of the most entitled people that I know, the older people, because they feel as though, oh, well, I've been around, I've been doing this forever or whatever. I could treat whoever how I want, when I want, and where I want, no matter where it's at. And it's, to me, a way of entitlement right there, because it's like, 100%. Oh, well, you feel as though you deserve to be treated like this at, 65 years old. So you're going to treat a young kid somewhere because you think that they're more entitled than you are. Exactly.
And that divide is part of the problem too. It's this person against this person, or this against that. And it's like, I almost feel stupid saying this because but it's so simple. Like, treat people how you want to be treated. We learned this when we were children, and I don't know if people are forgetting that, the older generation is forgetting that, and then the younger generation never learned it. I don't know, but it just seems like, how can a 60-year-old grown woman be yelling at a teenager who's working at McDonald's over their French fries not being the right temperature? It's like, why don't you want to teach them and say, hey, thank you so much. However, this isn't what because that's the other thing too. You're paying a lot of money for food right now, so you shouldn't be getting cold food either. I mean, that's a big problem also, but you can be nice about it. I mean, I travel all the time. I go to restaurants all the time, and I've had a lot of problems. But I don't yell at people, or I just say, hey, this was supposed to be this way. Is there any way you can fix that? Yeah, of course, thank you. People will thank you for being nice to them. It's like you have a choice. You have a choice to make someone's day or ruin it. And I can't fathom why people decide to ruin it.
Yeah, it's easier though, Sarah. If I feel miserable, let me ruin someone else's day. Unfortunately, that's the society we're in right now, and I don't understand that.
I don't either, and I don't get why more people don't get that a lot of this could be changed if we just all took a deep breath and realized that everyone is going through probably 20 more things than you realize. And we're all just trying to, pay our bills. No one is just off easy right now. I mean, everyone is affected. People's rent is increasing, the gas, the food, service. I went to the deli counter at the grocery store to get some, lunch meat. It took like 45 minutes. And people were yelling at this lady, and she was like, I'm so sorry. It's my first day. I wasn't trained. And she was frazzled, and I was like, it's okay. I'll come back. Like, I could tell by me standing there watching her, she was getting more frazzled. So I'm like, I'll come back in 5 minutes. Don't worry. And she thanked me. She said, and I feel like I shouldn't be thanked for that. I'm just being nice. I don't feel like that deserves a round of applause. And it's because it's so rare now. Yeah. And that's where I'm so fired up about this. I'm on social media talking about it every day. And people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, because I'm out in the world, I'm seeing this, and it's bad. We need to do something.
No, we definitely agree. Sarah Buxbaum, we appreciate you coming on, and hopefully people get better out there. But thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy Monday morning to come on and talk to us about this.
Of course. Thank you for having me.